Jordan.
Hi, Anthony Wrightson, 215 Grassy Island Avenue, Jessup, Pennsylvania. I handed out some copies to everyone there. I'm going to read this because my mind is shot. This thing tells. As a taxpayer of Jessup, Lackawanna County, I respectfully request that your board does not recommend that Jessup approve this curative amendment requested by Lackawanna Energy and its holding company, Invenergy. At a minimum, please request that Invenergy submit all of their plans. Every one. Since this is their second request in 2 years to change our zoning regulations, this raises the question, what other zoning issues will they also need a variance to build, or what additional curative amendments will be required? Would it not make more sense to have the entire scope of the project laid out before you make potentially a rushed decision? Zoning provisions and regulations in each municipality are designed to protect public health and well-being, promote coordinated development, evaluate transportation needs, provide for adequate recreation and educational lands, attempt to prevent blight, mitigate damage from fire, floods, and other dangers, provide for all types of housing density, and provide and accommodate for reasonable growth. Jessup's current zoning regulations designed to accommodate the aforementioned criteria should not be changed because one company's requirements do not fit into the current zoning. There is no need for any curative action. The representatives of Invenergy themselves admit that there are areas in Jessup that are properly zoned for this type of activity. It is not the fault of our citizens of Jessup that they have come to the game late. There is no more room on this field, only in the M2 zone. Finally, also consider our past legacy of coal and the environmental disregard associated with it. Lackawanna County's quality of life has fought its way back to nearly the top with the huge employers on Montage Mountain, Covington Industrial Park, and so many others, just like to the business they have recently called Jessup Mountain their home, such as TMG Health, McLean Trucking, BAE, and the small businesses of the Tech Ridge Center. They chose this location because they were zoned properly. Quality of the land and the quality of life that we have here in Lackawanna County. So again, I'm asking you to turn down this amendment.
Good evening. My name is Jack Figured. I am from 417 Leggett Street, Scranton, Pennsylvania. I am the Vice President of the Scranton Building Trades. And I just envy,
folks, please,
envy the position that you all have up here because I'm sure any one of us would like to switch with us at this time. So if anybody would like to switch with us, step ahead. I came down to Casey Highway, and I'm going to speak on a curative amendment, but I'm going to take a 30-second sidebar here. I did come down to Casey Highway recently and stopped at the overlook and looked over the valley and just tried to imagine what this valley would look like 50 years ago when my father and my grandfathers and all your relatives lived here with the homes that were heated by something other than natural gas. The air quality in this area has come back primarily because of natural gas, and the stacks that you have coming out of your house have no cleansing equipment whatsoever, or scrubbers. So if you imagine what 15,000, 20,000, 30,000 homes on a daily basis are putting into this area, and these were done 50 years ago. All right? Now, as far as their curative amendment, and I appreciate the ability, the time to speak here. We've been all at these meetings from, this is probably the 7th or 8th meeting we've all been at. We've probably collectively put more hours into this project than it would to build it, okay? As far as the curative amendment, I'm sure that the County Planning Commission would probably take exception to the fact that someone would think that they didn't do their due diligence. I'm sure the vote was 4-2. The vote was 4-2. Some considered that a win, and it was close. You know, but let's go forward. A lot of this information that your planning commission and your council is going to have to make is going to be based on law. And one lawyer will tell you one thing, depending upon who's paying them, and another lawyer will tell another thing. So, everyone's experts are paid to agree to the person that's paying.
Our attorney's free.
unfortunately.
Jack, up here, please.
So I'm sorry,
Up
unfortunately,
here.
I'm sorry.
And
Unfortunately.
let's focus on the curative.
Yeah, on the curative amendment.
And I
So
appreciate the
as far as the curative amendment, the county has taken a position that there is a conflict between the law of Jessup and the state. They believe they have explored this thoroughly, and for in your luck, in your situation, they've gone before you and have done this. I'm sure you've probably read everything that they've explored and the case law that they've studied. As far as the Scranton Building Trades, we are actually in favor of the curative amendment because of not only the economic value and the wages and stuff and benefits they'll provide to the citizens of this area, but also the technology used today is not what people figured it was 40 years ago, 50 years ago. Everything that we've heard today prior to this was based on past generations of things. So I'm sure that the county did their due diligence. I'm sure that you did your due diligence. We understand that the residents have an opinion, and we have an opinion, and some of the people we represent have a different opinion of those also. But these are your friends and their neighbors, and your neighbors. They have a tough decision to make. It's based on law, and not so much on emotions. It's just unfortunate that I see families and relatives and neighbors, and I've been at some of these meetings that are quite contentious, and it's unfortunate that it's come down to this. So I wish you all the luck in the world. I know your decision will be based on the law, and good luck to you all.
Thank you.
Can you hear me? My name is Beatriz Cabrera. I live in 738 Chestnut Street in Anaheim.
Where?
My name is Beatriz Cabrera. BeatrizzCabrera.
Pull that microphone down.
Okay. I just want to make an observation that it caught my attention, and I told my husband, who's Ernest Lemoncelli, that I have the feeling that this is an old history here in the area. I have the feeling that 100 years ago, the nation wanted energy, and your parents and grandparents went into mines to get it. I have the feeling that the coal barons and the bankers were pushing the people at that time, like making them believe that it was good for them to have these new jobs by getting the coal from the mines. Excuse me?
Don't just.
Yeah,
All right. I have a bad feeling that today is sort of happening the same. The politicians smile at you and they tell you, this is good for you. This is the thing that I felt the first time when I came to this meeting. What is good for us? What is good for us, the people who live in this area? What was good for his father and grandfather? What was good for many fathers and grandfathers of the area who were killed or just buried alive in the mines? They were told that it was good. We are told now that this is good for us. I don't see where it's good for us. The other one, very important thing that I want to say is that politicians smile at you and they say it's good for us. Please don't believe everything that politicians say to you and say that it's good for you, because that is not true. That's good for them. At that time, the coal miners were poor, but the barons of the coal were really, they made their gold. They were rich. They left the area polluted, water polluted. I want to read something here because it's strip mines, because I don't have all the words.
Ma'am, I have to ask you, please.
Okay, I leave,
but
I left.
You focus on the curative.
All right, okay. I'm leaving.
Truly
but
appreciate your comment, but it
really,
need to be more.
I understand, but really I want these people, not you, these people to think the politicians laugh at you.
Well, my name is Ricardo Horn.
What? I'm sorry. What is it?
My name is Ricardo Horn. I live at 626 River Street in Peckville. Can you hear me?
H-O-R-N?
No,
No, H-O-R-N.
H-O-R-N.
Thank you.
So I was not prepared to speak today. I just felt compelled to express how I'm feeling and a little bit what my perception is of what's going on. I think as much as this is a legal matter, I think it's a community matter. I'm not originally from Peckville or Jessup. I'm from Philadelphia. I met my wife, Nicole Krompaski, who's from Peckville, in Philadelphia. We got married and we decided to move here to raise our 3-year-old daughter. And my first introduction to NEPA culture was St. Ubaldo Day in 2009. And I recognized right away what this area's greatest asset is, and it's its community, its sense of communal identity, the fabric that keeps people together, and the reason why we're here at all. We both sacrificed great jobs in Center City, Philadelphia, so that we can enjoy that aspect of what it means to kind of control our fate and to raise our child the way that we want to. And I realize that this isn't so much of a legal discussion that I'm presenting, but I think more than whether we're going to change a variance or a zoning, it's whether we're willing to sacrifice what makes this place so special, what makes where you're all from and where I decided to raise my family so special. Do we want to say that it's okay for a company with no roots and no real investment in our culture and in our community to change, to dictate how we are going to do things and how we are going to raise our children? And whether or not that's going to last, whether in a generation from now my daughter won't decide to return because of the effects of a gas plant. So I implore you to make a decision not just on what the legal elements are here, but what the communal elements are, what it means to our families, to have to make the decisions based on what you will be recommending. I know that I don't want to raise my daughter a mile away from a power plant. I want to give her the greatest opportunity to live healthily and to make the choices that I was able to make and my wife was able to make. So thank you.
We're continuing on, folks. Just another reminder, please. I know it's getting late and we're getting weary probably, but let's try our best. We're being very flexible. We want to hear the comments. Let's try to focus on the Caribbean Amendment. And I understand there's a lot that goes into it, but thank you.
Corey Mayon, 199 Front Street, Jessup. I also, like many people, wasn't really planning on speaking tonight, but I felt the need to really bring up the fact that, as it was mentioned already, we've already granted them one curative amendment, and now this is the second one on the table. And everything we've been told through this whole process has been, well, we'll check with DEP. They'll let you know once we move things along, then you'll be able to get more concrete answers. So a lot of this is based on trust. We have to trust that they're going to do what's right. Well, I find it very hard to trust a company that doesn't even have their project off the ground already and already has a violation with the DEP. Now, if the DEP needed to file a violation against this company back in July, is it safe to say that, oh, they learned their lesson, they're never going to have another violation again? I highly doubt that. Thank you.